Okay, we are going to go over cloning a bit more. Um, so the last time we did this, we worked with a sand picture, and this time I've got a woodsy picture. This will help show a few pointers that I want to just show out. So first off, we're going to get rid of part of this photo, make it white. And then we are going to fill it back in. So say we want our circle to actually be this big. So no, you'll never crop a picture small and then go back and fill it in. Um, so let's go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, so cloning can be very good or very bad. And honestly, some of my work is still pretty rough. So um, you can't just hope for the best a lot of times. In this case, this is some pretty straight lines, so it's working out pretty well. Um, but you want to choose here. So like say I want to finish off this tree. So I'm going to click down here and I'm going to finish this tree. And I cut it off there a little bit. So let's go back. And then let me start over here at the end of this tree and then go up exactly here and go over. And this way it's going to capture that whole line and it's going to keep those trees straight up like they need to be, if that makes sense. And when you start to mess up here, so see my tree went crooked there, come back down here, get your tree, go up with it, and finish it out. Okay, so a lot of times people aren't paying attention to the natural flow of the picture, and you really need to, okay? So right here, the wood goes up, and you want to keep that as close to possible, as close as you can to the real photo. So from here, just keep going up. You can do the sides, just keep your trees in line. And it does take a while, guys, so it's not something, if you are doing a really quick job, a lot of times it's going to look like a really quick job. So when you have definite lines, like in this picture, you want to make sure that you are keeping them throughout the entire clone job. And so right now I'm just going through and I'm pressing option to get my clone source. And then I have my hardness of my brush. I have it pretty soft right now because I don't want a really rough line. What that means basically, so let's put it up to 100% hardness. So that means if I clone this part right here, it's going to have a really sharp circle line. Do you see how sharp that is around the edge? Compared to, let me do it again with a softer one. So do this right here. And then see how it kind of fades around the edge there? That means that it's softer. So I like to work with a soft brush because it ensures that I can go through here and I can fix corrections. When you have that really stiff circle, that sometimes will be, it's what will let people like see the obvious clone work. So you don't want that. So right now it looks like my trees are still lining up pretty well. So we're just going to keep going. That one, my tree is stopped lining up, so we're going to come down here and we're going to get this right here. And we're going to take it all the way up with it. We're going to come over here. We're going to get this tree if it's not already. There we go. Go all the way up. And you want to make sure like there's a really obvious branch right here. And I don't think I want that going all the way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to get maybe this section of the tree and I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to cover up a few of those areas. So come back down here and grab this, maybe put it right here. So just kind of pay attention to what you're doing. You want to avoid super obvious repeats. I think we discussed that with the sand. Let me see if that tree is lining up. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to like talk to you guys while focusing. So that tree is not as good as I normally would do it, but it works. Okay. But this is all done in Photoshop. And again, if you're doing like lots of cloning work, Photoshop is what you want to work in. So let's zoom out there. This is pretty obvious over here because we haven't finished blending it in. But for the most part, like our tree line up top here, it looks pretty good. We have the nice continuous trunk going up here. We have it right here. You have this tree going up, this tree. So yeah, if you get in, like you can see the repeats here, which is going to happen unless you're doing a super, super detailed hours worth of job on this. But if you're trying to do a quick clone job, this is one of the best tips I can give you. Make sure you follow the natural lines of the photo. So let's take the sunglasses out of this photo. So for here, zoom in really well. You've got the shadow too that you have to work with. So don't take out an object and not take out the shadow of the object. So I'm going to follow this trail right here. And I'm going to get rid of the shadow. You hold this line right here. You want to keep part of that there. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to follow the line all the way around. Let's get this back here. So basically what it's showing me underneath my paintbrush is what I'll be replicating and where I'll be putting it. So let's keep pulling it in. You want some of the color. So things you wouldn't want to replicate on here while you're doing this. You don't want to have repeats over and over again. So keep pulling in a different clone source. So for my sand, I'll come over here and grab some that really dark spot we probably don't want to replicate because it's going to be really obvious once you unscroll. Let's get here. That green spot we probably don't want. We still need to take out our shadow. And there are a few apps for cloning. I still stand by what I told you guys a few weeks ago. If y'all are doing a bunch of cloning jobs, just get Photoshop. I know it costs money, but you can get the photographer one. It's like $10.89 and that's with tax and everything included. And it's just an awesome program. You'll be able to finish all your work and just so fast. It's on a bigger screen for you to work with. And so right now one problem I'm having is I replicated that a little too much. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab just this blank sand and I'm going to add it in this area. And we're going to put some of this harder rock up here. And once you have a baseline going, you can also change the opacity of this layer. You could do it again, create new layer. You can go back in and fix whatever needs to be fixed. So we still have this hanging out. We don't need it. We're going to go up right there, and then I'm going to clone this part right here. Okay, so there we go. For the most part, you can't tell that sunglasses were even there. Let's go ahead and get this one last piece of black out. And And that's what it should. Cloning is a way to get rid of something that you don't want there. So you shouldn't be able to see that you clone something out. Like you don't want to see the actual clone and repetitive pattern going on. But if y'all have any questions, comment below, and I'll probably try to do a more detailed clone job on my phone as well.